March 6, 1987, a beautiful, warm, sunny afternoon, temperature of 76 outside. March the 6th, 1987. We will soon be visiting with Lucy Aylor, and the next voice you hear will be hers.
Didn't be mentioned.
Oh, is that right?
Because her mother lived here when I came here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, and I think the kids were home then. So that's been quite a while ago,
Mhm.
if you stop to think about it. I don't know. Well, what do you know for sure?
Not much.
I tell them if I knew a darn thing, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, that's not so. I was hoping you'd tell us some things about the town when you first came here. Can you remember anything?
Oh God, this was a good little town when I come here. We had a $1,400 or 1,400 population.
Yeah.
And that was what year?
1914.
1914.
In the spring of 14.
What did you do when you first came here?
Moved right in this shack right here.
Yeah, but for a living. What did you do for a living?
Oh, I worked in Humboldt.
Oh, you worked in Humboldt?
Mm-hmm.
And you traveled on a horse?
I worked for Bill Karsh in Humboldt.
Mm-hmm. You had to travel, you didn't have a car, did you?
No. We didn't know what a car was then.
No.
Go foot.
Yeah. Did you, how did you get back and forth?
What do you mean?
She didn't.
See, I worked in Humboldt, out in the country. I don't know whether you folks remember Bill Karsh or not.
No.
He was a real estate.
He probably did, but...
No, I remember his son, Mason, wasn't it?
Yeah, he lived on a farm out east of Humboldt. Had a cherry farm. I picked cherries out there and helped her can cherries one year.
Mm-hmm. And you went from here to Humboldt?
No, I come to my way to Humboldt.
Oh, uh-huh. And then from Humboldt you came here
Up this hole.
in 1914.
1914.
Oh, yeah.
April
But
1st, 1914.
you were married to
Wally and I were married then, yeah.
that year in 14?
Yeah, we was married in 14.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Well, so Elvie was pretty small, wasn't he?
Well, I took him when he was 3 months old.
Hmm.
That's when his mother died, you know.
Uh-huh.
He was only 6 weeks old when his mother died.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I took him and took care of him when he was 3 months old. And then on, after I got in the family, I took the whole family.
That was quite a job for you. were just a teenage girl, weren't you?
I was 23.
Oh, 23.
I thought about that a long time.
I'll bet you did.
Yeah, a lot of people who talked to me said, Lucy, you want to remember what you're getting into. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to think it over. But if I do, I'm going to stick to you through hell and damnation. That's just what I told him. And I did.
Well, that's good. Now, the first Mrs. Aylor was a Huntsicker, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was a Huntsicker.
Uh-huh. That's what I thought.
She had 3 brothers, Adolf, and Bill, and see, there was 4 of those boys. 4 of the Huntsicker boys. Ed and Bill and Adolf, and what was the one's name that went to Florida? I just forget his name now. Adolf went to Florida, that's right.
Wasn't there an Albert, the
Hmm?
pop man?
Hmm?
Albert?
No, he wasn't in that family.
No, I
He was a
see.
different Huntsicker.
That was a different one. I
Yeah,
see.
he was a different Huntsicker.
Uh-huh.
He was in that other generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember who was in business here in Table Rock when you came? The business people?
Well, I know one thing old C.I. Norris was.
Uh-huh. Oh, I'll bet.
Yes, Frank Commander, Rudy Neasdy. Rudy had a hardware and an undertaking farm.
Yeah,
up
yeah, I
there.
remember that.
Yeah. No Frank Commander.
Now, what did Mr. Aylor do when you first came here?
Well, he was at the Mormon Manufacturing Company. He traveled with them
Oh, I
for
see.
several years.
Mm-hmm.
We went a trip back to Quincy, Illinois to the big factory back there.
Oh,
one
you
year.
did?
Yeah.
The Mormon Feed Company, was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went a trip back there. Boy, we had a wonderful vacation.
Oh, I'll bet.
Quite a thing, I'll tell you. But oh, I got pictures. I used to go with him, and we'd shoot chickens, you know, give him a hypo for worms. Of course, he done that kind of work, you know, so feed. And I done the shooting, and he'd hold the chickens. I got pictures of him.
Oh, have you? I'll bet you've got a lot of old pictures.
Yes, I've got a whole mess of them in there. Whole book full of old timers when I took the Bowen twins, you know, when their mother died.
Oh, you did?
Well, sure. She lived over here on this Ed Tomac place. She owned that farm, if he did.
Oh.
That was Bally's sister.
Oh, yeah.
And she died over there, and she left those two girls.
And you
Twin
say their
girls.
name was Bowen?
Yes, Della and Stella. They
Oh.
were twins. And of course she died, and then they sold out over there. And the girls stayed with me quite a bit.
Well, what became of them then?
Well, Della is still in over in Iowa. But Stella died about here a year or so ago.
Oh, yeah. They married?
Huh?
Did they marry?
Oh, yes, they was married, and Della's a widow now.
I see. Who did they marry?
Well, Stella married a fellow out of, well, first she married this Punk Smith from Humboldt. They had one boy, Leonard. He's still living. He's down in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up here once in a while. But Della is in a nursing home now,
Oh,
over in Iowa,
well.
Sydney, Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Well, you remember when the hotel was built then?
I
Here.
sure do. I helped initiate it.
Did you?
God darn tootin', I was up there and danced that night. Doggone tootin', I know Mr. Weber from Falls City come up here and built that hotel. Weaver.
Weaver? Weaver built the hotel.
Yeah.
Now that was built.
See, that was a livery barn.
Oh, really? Early, I was going to ask you what used to be there.
That was a livery barn, and they cleaned it out. And Rubberneck Fensel, you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He put a saloon in there. They cleaned that barn out. Old man Snoke run the livery barn. Well, he took it down where Rudy Karras was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Rubberneck cleaned that out and put a saloon in there. That was in 1915 and 16. And he ran a saloon there for a while. And then when that went out, old man Weaver come up from Falls City, and he built that that hotel in Falls City. And he come up here and looked that over, and he said, well, I'm going to build a hotel here. So he did.
Well, they built the hotel and the theater and the bank all in one building, didn't they?
Huh?
That hotel and the bank and everything that was built in one
There's some of
building.
that brick yet from that old barn and that hotel.
Is
They
it-
didn't take all that west side out.
Oh, really?
There's some brick down there yet that belongs to
Now,
that.
did the whole thing, was that all built together? That
was all together,
the whole.
livery barn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then all those buildings that they were all built the same time, were they? The theater and that store building.
That all come in the hotel, you see, when you
Uh-huh,
built the hotel.
And that was a.
That was all one hotel.
And that was a bank. Then there was a bank there at one time, wasn't there? In that
A dance.
bank. A bank.
Yes, old Stecker on a bank there.
Uh-huh.
Sure. That's where the, in that part where the theater was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had a bank there. Yep.
Didn't last long, though.
No, him and Amy Marble got into it, and he skipped out. Oh, I tell you, one night we just scared the hell out of him. Him and Amy got pretty thick, you know. Oh, yes. And my kids was delivering milk. I was milking 2 cows. And he'd go by and he'd leave notes. Used to be around that house up there where Art is now, a hedge all around them trees in there. And he'd leave a note on that fence railing there for Amy to get. Well, the kids have been seeing that when they was delivering milk. Well, they didn't do a thing. They brought some of them home.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Oh dear. I went up there one night and Bolly didn't just had one pool table and a candy store up there, at that time. So me and the kids were going up that night, thought we'd walk up and come home with him. Well, we started up and instead he always took the meat and Amy out there, with the house. So when she was in the house. And he seen me coming, he thought it was Amy. He come out, he says, "Oh, hello." I said, "Yes, you old devil, what are you doing up here?" And you seen him run for home. He lived up there where Banker lives now. Bob lives. There's where he lived. He built that house.
Oh, he did. I'll be darned.
He took across there just on high. Oh, I tell you, Lawrence, we used to have some awful times.
Do you remember when this rock house up here, was it a hotel at one time, where Bethel lived?
Where Bethel is?
Where
Up
Bethel?
here?
Yeah.
Well, you see, oh, Lord, there's so many lived in there when I come here. Kerber lived there, and the telephone man lived there.
I thought it.
But,
I thought
Margaret
Hilton.
Hilton.
Hilton's lived there.
That
Yes.
was her home.
Uh-huh.
And she sold that to Minnie Bethel.
Minnie Bethel.
Mhm.
But I thought in the early days that maybe that was a hotel, wasn't it? Way before.
Well, I've heard that long before I come here.
Uh-huh. And then that there was a doctor there too. Do you remember that?
Old Doc Hilton?
Well, before him, or was it Doc Hilton? Doc Hilton.
Old Doc Hilton, that was his home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Margaret and I were awful good friends. Margaret Hilton.
Yeah, she was nice.
She was a good person.
Yes, she was.
Awful good person. Yes, old Doc, he's quite a doc. He sat with his ear caps pulled down. I went over one day. He's in the drugstore. It's when they had the drugstore.
Yes, I remember.
Albie was sick. I said, "Doc, I need you down home." "Well, what's the matter?" they say. I got him by the arm. I said, "Get out of that chair and come with me." The old fella, he's quite an old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, darn, he used to have some awful time. I'll tell you. Yeah. Them were the days.
Well, they were good in a lot of
And
ways.
we were happy. We never thought about hard times.
No, that's right.
We said, God darn hard up was pitiful. It didn't bother us a darn bit.
Well, everybody else was too.
Well, yes, it was times that we thought nothing about it.
That's right.
I said, here I milked 2 cows, sold milk 5 cents a quart, and the kids had to deliver it. Well, when Depression come on, they used to bring a whole mess of stuff in here, and Allie Zink, she was in with that, and she delivered the flour and the rice flour. We had to buy rice flour or flour. You couldn't have the whole. So the government wanted me to sell them milk to these people around. Well, I said, all right. I was getting 5 cents a quart, see. So I said, well, all right. Well, they said if I'd sell it to the Depression times to people, they'd give me 6 cents. So they did. I got 6 cents then out of the government for milk. And now look what they're paying.
Oh, my gosh.
Selling eggs 5 cents a dozen.
Yeah.
They didn't want them at that.
Oh, I know. Gosh, we used to milk several cows and carry buckets of skim milk to the pigs and the chickens, and now we buy the darn stuff and pay big money for it.
I know, I had pigs down here. I always kept a couple of cows. I
Yeah.
had pigs, and I always raised about 200 chickens.
Yeah.
We had our living here.
Well, sure.
We never had to buy nothing.
Well, that's the way everyone lived that way. I mean, you just lived what you had and what you raised.
That's right. And then I took Ray Aylor,
You what?
I put Ray Aylor through high school.
Oh.
He come and stayed with me. And I put him through high school. And then Bolly's dad was blind, Well, I had him on hands, too.
Oh, my goodness.
I kept him till he died. He died here with me.
Well,
Yeah.
when did Bolly first go into business here? He had a, well, you say he had a pool hall there
Well, he had a little candy shop during the fair,
Oh,
or the fire.
I
That
see.
was 1920.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one pool table and a candy shop up here. That's all he had.
I see. But he had a saloon then later, didn't he?
Oh, that tavern. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got
tavern.
that in 1933.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember him, don't I remember him calling square dances? Didn't Aylor used to call square dances? He used to go to dances, I know.
Well, we run that dance hall over Rudy Carroll's there for a long time, you know.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
That one upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's where Sitzman Garage is now,
Yeah.
before the building burned. I remember dances there when I was a little kid. And there used to be clear at the far end, there was a place where they put the kids to sleep. They hung their coats there, and
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. I think didn't they used to play basketball there, high school kids?
Yes, after basketball got in, they played basketball there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he run that hall for a long, long time. Until old Brace, he had the garage, you know. And that was set afire. You ain't kidding.
Oh, do you think
See,
so?
our piano was up there. And you remember the Nuggets, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Walt come down here one night. We quit the dances then. We gave them up for the summer. And he said, Lucy said, are you going to get that piano, your piano out of up there? And I said, yeah, I am, just as soon as we can get around to it. Well, he said, you better get it out of up there. If I were you, I'd get it out. Well, I said, I will. I'll see if we get out. And the next night, here come the piano. He went up there and got it out and brought it down here. And that night, the darn garage burned.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He knew. He told me afterwards. He said that was set fire.
Huh. I never knew
Old
that.
Grace run it, you know. And we had our Chevy car in there. It burned up.
Oh.
Yeah. Burned up all his shotgun and everything he had in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
darn.
And it was in the year 20, wasn't it, when we had a fire?
I don't remember when it burned.
1920. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, then it burned the same year
That would have been later.
I think it burned later than that. It didn't burn the same year those stores burned, did it?
I remember playing basketball up there. And
No,
so I
it
didn't
would have
come
been
to
later.
town Till,
Yeah, the town fire was 1920.
Yes,
uh,
but this other,
This garage burned. Let's see, well, he was on the
that
road.
was about 1930, wasn't it?
Somewhere around in there.
that could be.
Yeah.
I remember my dad selling milk to a creamery here at one time, a cheese factory. Do you remember where that was?
Right there in that building.
No, I don't remember the cheese factory.
I thought it was right there somewhere.
Edwin Freeman was there buying milk and cream.
Yeah, but on the west side there.
Yeah.
Across from the standpipe. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Mhm.
And the
Oh,
brickyard was a going, you know.
I'd take cream down there and then bring away back for the hogs.
Mm-hmm. I remember Dad
What's
hauling.
that?
When that creamery or when that cheese factory was here, I was a little kid, so that must have been in the 30s.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you see, we had a bakery come in here once. Man that ran
Yeah.
a bakery.
Oh, yes.
That
Let's see,
on
what
the
was
corner
his...
there where the Argus office is now. There's where he
Mhm.
was. He ran a bakery there for a while.
I remember a harness shop in there, too.
Yeah.
Remember they had, when I was a little kid,
The harness shop was up there where the Legion Hall was next to
there
it.
was one on this corner, too. I remember, I'm just sure there was, because there was... They
Well,
had
when
the,
I come here, Bursteaders from Humboldt had a machine shop there where the Argus is now.
oh, is that right?
They was selling machinery out of up there.
And do you remember the hat shop right below Norris's store?
Old Lady Martin?
Mhm.
Well, sure.
That's,
Yeah.
it was just a little store, wasn't it? Little building.
She was down here a while on this street. She ran a rooming house, you know, down here.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy Karras roomed there with her before he married Laura.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. There she ran a hat shop down there.
Now, which house was that in? I mean, the rooming house she
I
had.
think it's right down here where Laura Fritz lives now.
Oh, on the
this-
next block
on this
there.
street right in here,
Uh-huh.
yeah. She's one of those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe there used to be a big house there. As before Mrs. Taylor Lester built this new one for.
Well, you know, there was a blacksmith shop there where the locker is now. One of the, was the Carrots that run that. And you know, it was cleaned out, and after the fire, Billy Feller's moved his store up
Yeah,
there.
I remember that.
Him and that other moved up
Yeah,
there.
and Duncan had a little grocery store in the back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I remember Karras Blacksmith down there next to where the garage is, where
Yeah.
there was a little
That was old man Carrot.
what was the old man's name? Jim, wasn't it? Jim Karras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to come to our back door after we was in the tavern up there. He didn't want to come in. And he come to the back door and asked me, could I have a nickel's worth of that stuff? He wouldn't call it beer. That tickled the hell out of me. And then he got kind of foxy with a woman here in town. And I ran him out of the back alley one night.
You remember too much.
He's quite an old Jim, I'll tell you.
Oh, goodness.
God damn.
Well, then Oliver Hamilton had the blacksmith shop right here on this
Yeah,
corner.
right across the street. I was over there, took care of him when he died. Yeah. Him and Maggie lived over there. This house next door, ye gods, we had all kinds of people in there.
Really?
Old Lady Morris, you know, built that. She bought it from D. Brock.
Well, Dee was a night watchman. I remember when
Not D, his dad.
Oh, his dad, yeah. Well, there was a
Man.
Brock, a night watchman.
Yeah, he was night watchman here for how many years? 35, 40 years.
Years and years and years.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, they didn't get by with that old fella.
And then he had that big old dog with him all the time too. You remember that?
The wife,
That big dog he had with him all the
Yeah.
time.
and he always wore overshoes.
Yeah.
So they couldn't hear him
You didn't
walking.
hear him coming, no.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, Mary lived over here, Mary Brock. His wife lived over here
Oh.
when I come here. That was just a one-story building. Room upstairs and one down.
Oh.
And they just had the two children, Dale and Velva. And they lived there when I come here. She was an awful good neighbor.
Mrs. Brock.
Old lady, Mary.
Well, now, Mrs. Brock was a tank, I think, wasn't
She
she?
was a
She was a Sister Dad tank.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
she was.
I think so.
And now we got to he could run around here. He had a nipple and I'd tie it on a string and he'd suck that nipple. And Mary come over here one day. Says, Lucy, take that away from that kid. I said, if I do, you'll ball his head off. Well, she says, I'll take it. So she got Alvy on her lap. She moved around and said, told him, I'm going to take this off your neck for a little while. I want it. She took it home. He began to bawl after she's gone. He'd go out there on that old back porch. Then I want my ditty back. Give me my ditty. That tickled Mary. She took his tit away from him. He don't like to hear that now when I tell him.
I'll bet not.
He go out on him. Baki, her name was Brock, you know. Baki, I want my ditty back. God save. Oh dear. She was an awful good neighbor. Awful good neighbor.
Well,
They moved to Lower Town, you know, after she left here.
oh, uh-huh.
They moved down there in Lower Town.
Well, over town, when I used to come here to school, why, there were houses all
Well, that was
along
a
that
nice
railroad
town.
track.
There's more kids come to school from down there than
Yeah.
up here.
And there's hardly anything left down there now.
Oh, it's gone kaput.
There was that road along the bottom of the bluff there, and there were a lot of houses there.
Yeah, all along that whole.
There was that old man, he used to walk up and he took such good care of the park. What was his name? The old man that
Walker.
planted flowers in the park, you remember him?
Yes, I remember, and I can't think of his name.
Wasn't Walker, was it?
Walker, was that his name? Something like that?
Something like that.
He kept the park so pretty.
Hmm. Yeah, we helped donate to build that park up when it was built up. You know, there wasn't much in there when I come here. So,
Well, I don't suppose. I think I remember them building that fountain on the corner, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the bandstand.
yeah.
There was no fountain there until they had waterways.
Yeah, that's right.
And there wasn't much in there,
No.
Lawrence.
Just trees, huh?
Yeah. The old well's still there.
Yeah. Well, was that a city well?
Mhm.
It was.
Yep.
Everybody had his own well, huh?
Yes. We had ours. Everybody had their own well. We didn't have no city water. They didn't have no lights here when I come here.
Hmm.
We didn't have no lights. Ozzy fellas put the light line through. I don't suppose you remember Ozzy. He come down this hill over here stretching the light lines down. Where we put lights in. And Cooper's had it over for a long, long time. No Jack Phillips, you remember him? The rabbit
Slightly.
ear.
Yeah, slightly, yeah.
You know, he got the pen. You remember that? They sent him up. She always come around here with an old black long skirt dragging. She read meters. My meter was in that bedroom. And she always had something to say. She thought she was so darn smart. And one day I was asleep in here with a broom. She come in here popping off. And I thought, I had a door there then. I just took the broom and I gave her a brush in the back end. I had to get the devil out of here. She was always a griping about something. That was old Jack's wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got sent up. You remember that?
Jack.
Jack Phillips?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he did, you know.
I remember the Phillips living in one of those houses.
Well, that was down here.
Yeah, down where you walk in on the east side of the house from the ground and the west side in the upstairs of the house. And that's when the kids, they milked cows and those kids hauled milk. They peddled milk around town. Selma and Zethel and let's see, and what was the boy's name?
Phillips.
Arnold.
Arnold, yeah, Arnold Phillips.
Arnold
That's
Phillips,
the Phillips I
yeah.
remember.
He writes to me yet.
Is that right? Now, who was their dad?
Charlie Phillips.
Charlie Phillips. Okay.
He belonged to Lola that lived over here on
Oh.
the corner.
That was a different family then.
Well, that was a different family than this other Phillips.
Yeah, yeah.
They had nothing to do with them.
Mhm.
But you see, this Jack Phillips got in trouble with the McKnight girls. And he got sent up, you know, a couple of years. And Jack and her just had the one boy. And she didn't want that boy to ever know what happened to his dad. She wanted to keep it still. So I don't know whether he ever found it out or not, but anyway, I know he got sent up because he got in trouble with the McKnight girls that time. When he was running the theater.
Yeah. Now, the first person I remember in the theater is M.B. Johnson. He used to let us kids in for a nickel to see the show.
Wasn't that the Aerodome?
The what?
The Aerodome. He ran what they called an Aerodome.
Oh.
Up there to the hotel, the old hotel.
Well, no, it was this theater, well, the one we had until it was changed now a few years ago, but it
I
was
didn't know anybody ever run a theater.
Yeah, he did there, uh-huh.
He had that theater up between where the filling station is. Now,
Oh,
between the filling station and the grocery store,
oh.
where that filling, he ran an Aerodome there.
Well, what's that?
Outside pictures.
Oh,
There's outdoor pictures. He ran that for years. You see that
Well, was
filling
it-
station wasn't there.
no.
And he had this picture show in there,
Uh-huh.
outdoors.
Well, I remember the filling station. I remember what was his name? the. No, I think he married a McCourtney girl or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bruce Bailey?
Bailey, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first one when I remember the filling station. That
He
was
had a restaurant up here.
yeah. And
Maud writes to me every once in a while.
Yes, and didn't Bailey have that bakery in that place where